Katie Lance here, founder and CEO of Katie Lance Consulting, the Get Social Smart Academy, and author of the book Get Social Smart. And I am so excited. It is our Get Social Smart Academy series. And today I am thrilled to really introduce you guys. If you don't know Jim Chu, super excited to chat with longtime Academy member Jim Chu. Jim is a real estate salesperson. He's with Royal LePage Real Estate up in Mississauga, Ontario, in beautiful Canada. He's been a part of our Academy family for about a year and a half, and he has such an amazing background, experience. I can't wait to chat with him. So Jim, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Katie. Super excited to be here. Super excited to be talking to you. I wish I have met you in person before this, but, COVID kind of sucks.
I know, right? I know. At least we have Zoom, right? At least we can connect virtually.
Exactly.
which is awesome.
And like they always say, virtual high fives and virtual hugs. So
Exactly. I'm all about the virtual high fives and virtual hugs for sure. So, I know you sent over, kind of your bio. You have really such a vast experience. I had no idea that you have such an amazing background. And so I would just love for you to share, for people who don't know you, maybe you can just give people a little bit of sense of a little bit of your background and like what led you to where you are today as a real estate salesperson.
Yeah, so I've been in real estate up in April. I'll be in real estate for 6 years now. Prior to that, I've worked, let's go back to almost the beginning. One of my earliest jobs was delivering newspapers, but really working at McDonald's. Who didn't work at McDonald's, I think everybody worked at McDonald's at one point.
Yep.
And then I worked in the restaurant. I was a cook. Many different restaurants, all different styles, English pub, Gulf Country Club, Mediterranean, Greek kitchens and stuff like that. So that was there for a while. And I did that because my father and his father had a cooking background, and I can't say it's genetics, but I kind of like gravitated to that because I see my father cooking and kind of gravitated to that. But yeah, after that, I did, throughout high school, I did photography. And so for a while there, I was doing photography as well. And then did retail sales, did that for a while.
All kinds of stuff.
After that, I worked in a quick copy print shop. So got a lot of customer experience there, especially because I was a production supervisor. So learned about timing and organization, And then after that, I worked as a charter bus driver. So I got to drive around, Greyhounds. Was driving that for a while, going to the casinos, going to various cities, Montreal,
some
Quebec.
Good stories on that.
Pretty stories, I drove down to Panama City one time. I didn't drive them all the way down. What we call a straight drive. So it was a relay system. So one driver would pick them up, drive about a third of the way, switch drivers. And then I was at the third leg, switched drivers, and then I took them the rest of the way. And then I was sitting around for about a week.
Oh, wow.
But quite a few of those. And then, from doing that, it was basically winter time, and in that kind of business, tourism business kind of slows down. So my wife said to me, why don't you get your real estate license? And I've always been interested in real estate. I've always wanted to get my license. And so it's like, so I asked my boss, could you lay me off? That way I still get paid kind of thing from the government. So he laid me off. I took my exams and everything. And then yeah, I got my license, and then I started, you know, doing real estate, doing it full time. I might add,
Yeah, that's awesome. So that was 6 years ago that you,
Yep.
wow. So, I mean, I would imagine all these different experiences, I'm sure have helped you. I mean, in terms of real estate and just
Exactly.
dealing with
Yeah.
different types of people and organization. I mean, as an agent, you're wearing, I would say agents are wearing like 20 different hats,
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
you're in real estate. So that's awesome. Um,
Yeah. Another thing I
so,
was going to mention that in high school, I studied mechanical drafting and architectural drafting. So that also helps me. In fact, that building there over my shoulder, I actually drew that in high school.
oh my goodness, let's
Yeah.
see, you're a man of many talents. I had no idea.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Oh, that's fantastic. That's awesome. And you're with Royal LePage.
yeah.
That's a well-known, brand, of course, especially up in
Yeah.
Canada. That's awesome.
Well, that's the thing. It's only Canadian. Unlike Remax or Century 21, where they're worldwide, Royal LePage is strictly Canadian. It's a Canadian brand.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
So, can you tell us a little bit about your business right now? Are you a solo agent? What type of clientele do you work with? Just to give kind of people a sense of what your business looks like.
I am a solo agent, so I do everything myself. I was even doing a lot more myself, a lot of photography and stuff, but I've since hired people to do that to save myself some time.
Smart.
Right now, our market, just like in a lot of other markets, it's very much a seller's market. There isn't a lot of inventory, so it's really hard to work with sellers. So I actually have quite a few buyers that I'm working with, and yes, it's a bit of a struggle. Multiple offers, ridiculously going overpriced. But I guess also to keep my sanity, I'm also working with a lot of people looking to rent, either landlords or tenants. So doing a lot of those as well.
That's great. Well, I'm going to ask you about social media because that's how we met, of course.
Exactly.
Was, through social media, through the academy, and I know I think I first probably started connecting with you when you joined the academy, but your Instagram posts, I swear they're always like at the top of my feed.
Maybe because I keep on liking your stuff, and so
there you go.
kind of bounces around. Yeah,
totally. So I would love to hear from you. Like, what do you feel is there something that's working for you right now? I see you doing Instagram. I see you putting out some video content. I've seen some stuff from you. On YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, things like that. So just curious, what maybe one or two things that are really working for you right now.
I think, like you've talked about it before, I really think it's consistency. Don't have to post every day, but keep it consistent. So I try to, on weekends or when I'm not too busy, I schedule my posts, and I try to schedule within the same 1 hour block each day, or not say each day, but the days that I do post, I try to schedule it in the same 1 hour block, so that try to keep it consistent, and and keep it fun and engaging. It's not always about real estate, not constantly posting about my just listed, just sold. I don't constantly post about all my awards. I do a lot of a variety of posts. Just like you, I use my cat a lot in my posts.
I knew there was a reason we connected. It's the cat, really.
Yeah, exactly. And then highlight local businesses and stuff like that. But I'm starting to get, like I said, consistency. So it gets feedback and traction and stuff like that to get people commenting and stuff like that. So
that's great. Do you have a platform that you prefer, or is there a platform that you just enjoy spending more time on?
I probably waste too much time on Instagram.
It's easy to do.
Yeah. No, I just I try to, there is so many out there. I just try to stay with Facebook and Instagram. And I think in the last year or so, I started my YouTube channel, and I've been, at first it was kind of sporadic, but now I'm, again, consistency. Trying to post weekly. So
that's great. Yeah, consistency. Well, I mean, I'm always preaching that. It's definitely the name of the game. Are you using any specific tool for scheduling some of your posts?
Really, the only tool I use is Creative Studio. I think it's the one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's a Creative Suite or Creative Studio. I can never remember, but it's right in. It's right in Facebook. I use that to do that, and because I've learned in the past that I was using another site that had a scheduling algorithm, a scheduling option where you could schedule your post through another site. And I found out that, or what happened once there was a change in their connection or whatever. I can't remember exactly, but all my posts that I had scheduled through them, even the past ones, disappeared. It was gone.
Oh no.
Yeah. Eventually, when they, I guess, updated their links or whatever through Facebook, it came back. But it's like, okay, that happened. That's a possibility in the future. So now I either post directly to the platform, or I use their scheduling platform to post. So
yeah, that's great. Facebook has Creator Studio and Business Suite, which are similar but different. Yeah, that's great. And you can schedule for Facebook and Instagram with
exactly.
Which is nice. Yeah. So you mentioned video, and before our interview, I was kind of poking around, and I saw some of your videos on YouTube, and which is awesome. There's certainly a lot of people, I think, who are either listening to our podcast or watching us on YouTube, and there's a lot of folks who are still kind of hesitant when it comes to getting on camera and hesitant to getting on video. Do you have any tips or advice for anyone who's in that boat, who knows they probably should do it, but they're just nervous or not sure how to do it?
You've said it many times. You sound the way you sound. You look the way you look. Get over it. It's people. You get better engagement when people see you as a person, as opposed to see you some kind of like, celebrity realtor. Like, it's great to be a celebrity realtor, but you're a person, and you want to be personable. So you make mistakes, you flub a line, like I don't know if you saw my end of year blooper reel, but I was like thinking, what was I saying? I was saying a few of those, but obviously that's the thing. That's the thing about editing. That's another thing. It's like you can make mistakes because editing saves you. So
yeah, and that blooper reel is great. I might have to share that. I always in the show notes of our show, we always put links to our guests, and so I might have to find that blooper reel.
For sure.
That's great. Well, and you make a really good point about editing. Do you do your own editing, or do you outsource that? How do you do your editing?
My listing videos are shot professionally and edited by them. But so lately I've been doing evergreen videos, and then those ones I do myself at this time. Maybe later on when I do get busier, especially when I redo them in the future, I'll probably again get them done professionally, get them done edited professionally. But right now, I do my own editing for those kind of stuff.
That's great. What program do you use? Do you use an app or?
Yeah, I use. I'm on a Mac, and I use Final Cut Pro.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
that's awesome. That's very cool.
Yeah,
and like you said, I mean, it's just I think well, I think one of the things I've really always liked about your content is it's, you certainly put obviously real estate stuff out there, just listed, just
Yeah.
sold, stuff like that. But, I like specifically on Instagram, I love you've got these like tips and just sort of helpful hints. Is that something that do you brainstorm those ahead of time, or do you kind of sit down and go, you know what, this is what I'm feeling, I'm going to post this?
Uh, I'm on another site. I don't know if you want me to mention it or not, but I'm on another site. Yeah, it's called what is it called? It is called the lighter side of real estate.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So
Awesome.
I'm on their site. I get their content, and so I just scroll. Like, it's a U.S. company, so not everything's applicable to Canada. So I can't use everything they produce, but I go through them and I pick what I think is relevant and what's informative. And then also there's these other sites, these businesses that have these inspiring or informative billboards. And if I see something I like, I just copy the photo and then again, repost it. So yeah. And then I also give full credit to them. I don't pretend it's my thing. I always give full credit to anybody that I plagiarize.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, and I always like how you add in your 2 cents.
Yeah.
I think that's where sometimes we see agents and brokers are posting from other sources of content. There's nothing wrong with that, but adding in just your own opinion or your own,
Exactly.
your own 2 cents, like that's the secret sauce.
Yeah. I try to do that. I try to make it relevant,
Yeah, for sure. So is there anything that you are kind of thinking about as far as social media that you haven't quite done, but maybe it's on your radar for 2022, or something you'd like to dip your toe into the water to try?
I guess more reels, I want to try those, those reels that are cut tight with the music. I want to try that, but it's like, but I've heard horror stories that, you spend like an hour, 2 hours doing this, and then for like a 20-second reel, it's like, do I have that much time? Yeah, we'll see. I'll at least try it,
Yeah, they can take time. I've learned the key to doing those kind of reels is you have to be organized. Like if you're gonna, especially those tight clips, putting all your photos or your videos into like a folder on your phone, and I know like you and I have an iPhone, so just using like the album feature, just putting it all, together and just kind of thinking it out ahead of time. But it's been fun. It's been interesting with reels to see how they're really just kind of exploded over the last, year or so, and are getting lots of views, and it's the whole, edutainment type thing with, so it should be fun. Do you think will you do some singing and dancing on reels?
I don't know. We'll see about that. I need a few drinks on that to do that.
Exactly.
But,
awesome.
I have no problem talking on reels, but dancing, I don't know. It might not be. I'll see.
You never know, right? You never know.
I think for me to do that, I need a partner. I need somebody to do it with.
Yeah.
So,
for sure.
See.
For sure. All right. Well, we'll see. I'm going to check back in with you and see.
Okay.
So I know you also, you've been a longtime member of our academy. I was, looking you up. You've been in the academy since November 2020. It's been a while.
Wow.
And some, for anyone who might be watching this, they might be curious about it. I would love for you to share, anything that you've learned, or maybe how it's impacted you.
I think a lot of, you bring so much insightfulness to the world of social media. A lot of your how-tos and what works kind of thing really helps. And it's helped me. Was I doing it before I started the academy? Maybe, maybe not, but just reaffirmation of what I've been doing, hearing it from a different perspective. I think that really helps. And then it's just the networking and then the bouncing of ideas kind of thing off of each other. It's really great. It's all about the community that I find is really good. And and the content that you produce and the fact that you lay it out so openly and easily to absorb makes, it's like, why wouldn't you do this? Come on. Other than you doing this for us, you make it so simple for us to do it ourselves.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
It's one of the things, as we do just about every Monday, I do Coffee with Katie, which is, for our listeners who don't know, it's this kind of exclusive Facebook Live I do for our Academy family each week. And I swear, every Monday I'm like, there's Jim. He shows up. I see you all the time in my feed, whether it's, either you're live or you're watching the replay. And I just think it just goes to show, like, all of this takes time, whether it's marketing and business and, and like you said, the community part of it. I think that's really important. There's a lot of stuff that, you could Google and, that's out there. There's thousands of things, but just the community. And that's really where, I would have never met you, without that community, without that connection. So
that's right. Yeah.
Which is awesome. So, okay. The very last question I have for you as we get towards the end, I know you're a busy guy.
Yeah.
For anyone who is thinking about getting into real estate and they've thought about it, they're not sure. Do you have any advice for someone who might be kind of like either on the fence or maybe they're a new agent, maybe they're a brand new agent, just, you're still fairly new, you're 6 years in.
That's right.
So
yeah.
Any wise words or, lessons you might think of?
You know what? We get paid, or at least in my market, we get paid damn good money. Okay. And yes, there's some struggles. There's some hard clients that we work with, but we get paid damn good money. So put the effort in. Okay. Forget about, it's like cell phone photos don't cut it. Not even for a lease. You get paid damn good money. Put the effort in. Be professional. Have a proper voicemail. Don't be, I think you've said it before, don't be a secret agent. Don't make it so hard that if I want to talk to you, I got to like Google this, Google that, just to try to get a number for you. It's like, be professional, be accessible. Like, it's like, okay, I don't expect you to pick up the phone. I call you, but don't, it's like, not say don't call me back a day later. It's like, or, it's like, because by that time I forgot why I called you. Like, right. It's like, we get paid good money. Okay. So don't need to cheap out about it. I think that's really, I'd like to impart on new agents. It's like, be professional, put in the effort.
Yeah. That's such great advice. Yeah. Don't be a secret agent, be professional. Just, it's a lot of small things that make a big difference.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, Jim, this has been awesome. I know we could probably chat for like another hour, but I so appreciate you taking time to chat with us here today. And for all of our listeners, if you're watching on YouTube, we would love if you hit that subscribe button and the bell button. We have new videos that come out each and every week. If you're listening over on the podcast and you enjoyed it, we would love if you give us a 5-star review. And we're going to link to all of Jim's contact info. You can connect with him on Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn or YouTube. We're going to find that bloopers reel. We'll put that below as well. But Jim, thank you again. This has just been so awesome. I so appreciate you taking time with us today.
It's been fun. It's my pleasure, and it's great. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, thank you again. And again, to all of our listeners, thank you so much for being with us here today. Like I said, we'd love if you subscribe to us over on YouTube or, the podcast or wherever you are listening. And we will see you soon. Have a great day. And Oh my gosh, I can't forget to mention the Academy. Hello, if you're listening to this and you're wondering about the Get Social Smart Academy, you can go to katielance.com/academy. All right, check it out. We'll see you soon. Have a great day, everybody.